Bravery is acting without fear, not having fear. But courage is acting in spite of having fear.
Trying something new.
Standing up for what you believe in.
I think athletes are very courageous.
Skydiving.
My mom.
I think just women in history are really courageous.
It means doing the right thing as often as you can.
You need a bit of courage to kind of find your own direction.
I hope so.
I think people are born with courage, and it's a matter of opening it up in them.
Guess you're not born with it. You just sort of learn.
Yeah, I think you are, and then some people kind of forget.
Do you want to be a bystander, or would you step in? Some people might step in more than others.
When I was a little younger, I witnessed a kid on a skateboard getting attacked. I looked over and just said, "Hey, stop!" And they surrounded me, but they stopped beating the kid up. And it wasn't an intentional thing; it was an instinctual reaction at that time.
I think you learn courage.
And courage alone won't save the world.
Dr. Brian Palmer is a social anthropologist and scholar of religion at Uppsala University. He has spent the past 14 years of his life researching and sharing acts of civic courage.
There can be acts that are poorly thought out. There are acts that may backfire and provoke some unintended consequences. After the September 11th attacks on the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, the writer Susan Sontag wrote in The New Yorker, whatever else we may say about the hijackers, we have to admit that they had courage. She meant that courage is a morally neutral virtue. To Osama bin Laden and the circle around him, the attacks on the World Trade Center may have been seen as great acts of altruistic courage. Being aware of the example of others certainly creates a kind of impetus or moral pressure. A hero is ready to take risks for people outside one's own family and circle of friends. It has to do with the pro-social, the altruistic aspect, civic courage, and it's that element that is so rare and so beautiful. In Auschwitz, the guards are about to execute 10 people they've chosen at random. Maximilian Kolbe goes up to the guards and says, "Could I take that man's place?" So he swaps. For a complete stranger, he had such positive energy that when he and the other 9 were locked in this room to starve to death, he led them in singing. Many of these cases of people taking enormous risks for others involve demanding some kind of accountability. Organizations can make that kind of demand too, and they can make it consistently over time. Courage is especially powerful and worth looking at as an aspect of social struggle, of activism.
Free the Children is a charity focused on social justice and international development. It was started by Craig Kielburger when he was 12 years old after he read about Iqbal Masai, a boy his age who was murdered for speaking out against child labor. Kyle Schuster is a trip facilitator for Me to We, a chapter of Free the Children.
Social justice occurs when the help being provided is worked into a relationship that's more of a partnership. This partnership is the key to avoiding that stereotypical volunteerism where youth go and serve for a couple days and then get to take pictures, because we're not about giving handouts, we're about giving hands up. I'd say the greatest struggle is definitely the feeling of apathy sometimes. Without Iqbal's courageous act, Craig wouldn't have stood in front of his class and said, "I don't know a lot about this, but I want to learn more. Who's with me?"
Memorial in Russia, which is a human rights organization working for basic human rights in a Russia that often doesn't have them. That organization has lost several of its leading members to murder. The organization is demanding accountability. So are the workers, but the organization has lasted longer.
My parents are foster parents.
When I was 7, they sat me down and they told me I had HIV. I simply asked them, why do I have to keep it a secret? My courage building was from my family and my friends and the people at my support groups and my summer camps. They really helped me to find who I was. And then when I had my community, I had found my voice and I had been able to use it. They've always told me to be myself no matter what.
I don't think we'll ever have the kind of gentle and loving and generous world that most of us long for. The best we can hope for is to lessen the levels of brutality, to lessen the economic inequalities. In terms of building universal human solidarity, there are really 1,000 things to do, and it's a question of picking something in a way based on the facts of one's own life.
I encourage people to try to get out there and get the message spread. You just focus on the positives, and that's what keeps you going, and that's what helps you to build up your strength and your courage to keep on talking.